We now are in this commercial capitalistic society where everything is individual. The Ubermensch or the superhuman, it begins to focus on the will to power. So everybody is focusing on the will to power, and that lies simply within me. And so myself, and I can attain this. And it means that I don't sit around and worry about it. He called it weak herd. I call it the communal concept. That he turns around and says, we don't need to be communal. So we can now stand inside a church and talk about, turn to your hater. Turn to people who don't agree with you or won't uphold your fantasy and your illusion. And begin now to attack them or destroy them or ignore who they are as human. And so when you start hearing the Ubermensch and the superhuman, remember, it starts with the concept that God is dead, that you don't need God, that everything that you need to create, whatever the fantasy and the illusion is for your life, that is within you, just do it. And the real people that really are above the aristocracy, or those people who really are significant and important, those are the people who step away. So the people who succeed. For the African American community, it's the Jay-Z's, it's the Kanye West. So the church now becomes a herding place. That's the way many of the younger people see it. It holds you back, it keeps you down. What you need to do is break from that and just do whatever you need to do to succeed. Mm-hmm. And so now we start seeing inter and intra violence, because I need to do whatever I need to do. Forget the moralities, forget the ethics, forget anything, forget the history, forget anything that will hold you back from being this superhuman. So we're faced with that as a community or as a church, however you choose to see that. I see it more as a community of faith that brings people together. The aspect of it is now the church finds itself caught in that context of do whatever you need to do, lie, steal, cheat. Or as King says right before he died, Martin Luther King Jr., he said this. He said, unfortunately, our society lives by the 13th commandment. Thou shalt not get caught. It's not wrong to do whatever you need to do. The sin is in getting caught. So now we have to address that. We have to talk about that, and we have to talk about these superhumans instead of aligning ourselves with the understanding that for you to be considered human, important, and significant, your value is on what car you drive, what house, where you live, how much money, because you really, as a church, and as we have talked about prosperity, gospelism, and the way that we describe God in that, this becomes the mantra. This becomes the way of measuring this.
The thou shalt not get caught.
Uh-huh.
Today I'm seeing that if it's not documented,
right,
then it's okay.
Yeah.
If we didn't capture your sin,
right,
on Facebook,
uh-huh,
then you just get away with it.
Or even if we do, for the African American church, if we see police officers doing things that are illegal against our civil rights, our human rights, even if that is, then that can be excused away, wiped away. Because that's where the anger is now coming, is that we're seeing it, and then now we're hearing justification for it by saying, well, you didn't see all of it. Well, you didn't see this. But wait a minute, had they done this? So now you re-victimize the victim because you are the superhuman. You are the one who defines it. So like you say, there's many that says, if you didn't see it, if it's not signed, it's not true. But then inside of the African American, many Latino, many marginalized communities, they sit back and said, this is nothing new. We've been seeing this brutality for centuries. And still the court says, to hold up our system, we're not going to prosecute. We're not going to push this. And for the stability of society, we're not. So then you start seeing this play out. And then you use God. You just use God. You say, well, God ordered it this way.
But I also think that maybe consciously or unconsciously,
Mm-hmm.
I think what you just preached right now, it was the church is preaching
Yeah.
today. It is the truth. That the will of power,
Yes.
the will to power, and I think that we saw that in the testimony of Jesus, on his daily, in his own daily life,
Yes.
starting with the disciples.
Yeah.
And I think it's our own fault as the church, because I go to many churches. I mean, I have my own church.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see and what I smell when I go to different churches, whenever I can, I see the churches working together with the pastor and the staff, working so hard for the members of these particular churches not to come out from their comfort zone.
Right. Right.